Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Welcome to the Tabletop Shenanigans podcast. Today I have with me my amazing co-hosts. We've got with us today an Alpha Legion cultist so deep undercover that not even he knows he's undercover. It's Matthew.
Hello, everybody.
A Night Lord Legionnaire so mean that he was kicked out for it. It's Alex.
It's a habit.
It's Abaddon's best boy, Nick.
Hello. Not Abaddon's best boy, but sure.
And Dark Angel, something, Chaos, something. It's Phil.
Felipe. I hate guts.
It's not even in the script.
There's no script. What are you talking about?
It's your host, Felipe. All right, few housekeeping issues. We're still looking for a graphic designer to help us redesign our logo. Yes, you will be compensated. No, it will not be with any nude pictures for your help. So if
whatever you want,
has,
nudes.
I mean, again, anything for the podcast. Anything for the podcast.
Anything.
Also, I do apologize for any sniffling from me last podcast. We're in Oklahoma. Allergies are terrible here, and Nargle's blessing works in many, many annoying ways. So, with that out of the way, today's topic is a simple one: chaos. We are going to run through a couple of topics, units, questions, and all chaos-related topics. It's safe to say that besides our boy Matthew, who still has not even... Matthew, have you ever even rolled a single Death to the False Emperor roll, ever?
Nope, definitely not.
Wow.
I've never been cursed with having to forget Death of the False Emperor.
But you have killed a lot of chaos, correct?
I have been the bane of chaos for many years, yes.
Nice.
Bane or coward?
Bane.
I would say coward.
All right. So besides Maddie, all of us own or are building a chaos army. Some of us even multiple chaos army. So I'd like to think that we kind of know what we're talking about. So to start out for tonight, let's talk about the poster boys of chaos, the Chaos Space Marines, which will include, the vanilla ones like Black Legion, and then we'll also talk about Death Guard, Thousand Suns, and so on. So let's start out with some troops and just units in general. What are you guys' opinions in terms of what you guys think the lineup looks like?
Did you say cultists? Because I think the answer is cultists.
Yikes. Sad but true.
Hey, the chief.
Imagine just having Abaddon and 200 cultists and just winning every battle.
Yeah. Auto pass morale. Pretty good.
Turns out that's the best way to win any game.
Like a 12-inch bubble or something like that?
12 inches.
Yeah, but only one of them has to be in there.
A lot. It's
Yeah,
24.
you just shoot the cultists that aren't in the 12-inch bubble.
Well,
Well,
there
the
is
thing is,
also...
it's not wholly within, I don't believe, so it's very
No, it's
easy
not.
to be in the bubble. Like, incredibly easy. To be within an
but
entire foot of Abaddon.
If you're talking about, I understand, but if you're talking about board control, you have to you're really limiting yourself on where you can move. So I don't imagine that 200 cultists plus Abaddon is a winning combination. Feel like you'd be missing some key features there.
Well, definitely.
Like what?
Definitely.
Well,
If you could.
Everything. You just have cultists, a million auto guns shooting
But
at
it's
a
like-
night.
It's like let's see. Technically speaking, the math checks out. You could kill a knight with 200 cultists.
Well, yeah,
Alright,
but
so
two entire armies
I don't
shooting
think
into
so.
one unit.
It's not about winning, though, right? It's about the morale damage you do to your opponent when their knight gets taken down by cultist gunfire.
What do cultists hit on? 5s?
Fours?
4s? Do they get a reroll anything because of Abaddon?
Yes. Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to say yes. Just to give them more of a chance. We'll just say they were rolling ones. Right?
Is there any reason not to take cultists? Does anybody take anybody else?
So 400 shots. That's 200 cultists with 2 shots each.
Yeah.
At ballistic skill 4, rerolling everything, strength 3, damage 1 into a toughness 8 model with a 3-up save, a knight.
Yes.
Results in 16.667 wounds. So you could kill almost one knight a turn.
That's pretty good.
No.
Well, that's in optimal conditions. Obviously, that's everyone being in rapid fire range.
Yeah. So I'm saying, like, even in the absolute best scenario, you don't kill a knight on average.
But it's not always about killing. It's about the morale damage.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're really missing here.
I don't think there's very much morale damage in shooting your entire army into one unit and not killing it. I feel like that's like makes
the
your
morale is
opponent laugh
against
at
you. Yeah, I was saying the morale would be your morale.
Well, let's go with an example of, I guess, like doing the opposite of morale damage to your opponent. And let's talk about my first ITC tournament that I went to, right? I came with a very, very bad Dark Angels list against this guard player that very much talked up his list. And he ended up hyping up his list so much that he did morale damage to himself when he couldn't do anything at all against not very competitively viable army. So
what did he say to you? Did he say anything to you?
And I really think you end up sabotaging yourself by doing that.
Isn't that the point of the game? Sabotage in yourself?
Nick.
No.
As long as there's some kind of sabotage going on to yourself, your opponent, doesnment matter.
Yeah, honestly.
As an alpha legionnaire, I can definitely see that coming from you. But
well, I see it more coming from you, the resident Dark Angels player. But I digress.
Wow.
Yikes. Yeah, this is a dead joke. Come on, guys.
I don't think, unless GW comes out and just blatantly puts it in a text, Dark Angels are not heretics. They'll ever die.
I think that
you've never seen them, bro.
I really do think they have already stated it when they made their armies with the Imperium keyword. I think that's where it all started.
Nope.
No.
I don't know if that's me or not.
They also made the same army have the fallen keyword. So,
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Only one unit has the fallen keyword. That's not even in the unit.
Units.
It's a separate unit with a separate detachment.
I'm just saying, I mean,
I think we know they're not Chaos because literally in the lore it says that they're still loyal to the Emperor, right? I think that's how we know. Technically speaking, they're still Imperium. But that doesn't really say much when the Imperium also works with Xenos, with Eldar. So,
man, can't believe this lore podcast stopped talking about Chaos Space Marines. Crazy.
Jeez.
Hashtag not a lore podcast.
Well, back on the topic of cultists. I mean, there's actually good reasons to run cultists in some armies. I'm sure cultists don't get the benefits of the Chaos Space Marine tactics, right?
no, they don't. They don't get much other than they're just cheap bodies, I think.
No, right. So, unlike a Chaos Space Marine, much more expensive than the Chaos Cultist, they won't get their the specific tactics that they get. But in honesty, was it? They can come in squads of 20, right?
I believe so. Up to 20.
Yes. I don't know.
Yes. I'm pretty sure a blob of 20 is a lot more efficient than a blob of 10 of Chaos Space Marines in almost any scenario.
Obviously,
Points for
depending on the
power.
army.
Right.
Yeah, again,
sure,
it's
that's
depending on the army,
army.
right? You have an army like Black Legion where they can advance their Chaos Space Marines and shoot their weapons
exactly.
as assault. That allows their Chaos Space Marines to be far more flexible than cultists, especially when the purpose of troops choices in this scenario is to be holding objectives or securing objectives and things like that. And also, you know, there's many stratagems that don't just say Chaos Infantry; they say Chaos Space Marine Infantry or things like that.
Right.
Or Chaos Legion Infantry. I think it's just.
I think the thing is though.
So
I think the thing is though.
Stratagems.
Go ahead, Phil. Go ahead. I think the thing about Chaos Space Marines, like actual Chaos Space Marines, is that now they're not that much more expensive than point for point. Chaos Space Marines are not that much more expensive than a cultist, but they also provide a lot of other things. Like they have different gun choices. They have just a better save, better ballistic skill. I think you're paying only like 3 or 4 points more for that better ballistic skill and better better armor.
Not really. The only Chaos Space Marines can only get bolters or chainsword
They can
There's
also
only two
get.
options.
Are you sure? I thought they could also
Yes.
get. I thought they could
Special
take
weapons.
a special weapon and a heavy weapon.
The
They
sergeant can
can,
usually
just
take a
like-
power fist, yeah.
Yeah, they
The champion,
can.
yeah.
It's-
The thing
it's a-
is, special weapons are an additional cost, so it's not exactly fair to count those as a benefit, because that'd like be saying, oh, tacticals are just as good as intercessors because tacticals can take plasma guns, and plasma guns are good.
yeah,
I mean,
like,
Okay,
technically
but then
that
you have to also
statement is
understand that there's
true.
also. But then if you count like that, I mean, Chaos Space Marines have Angels of Death or whatever their version of Shock Attack and all that good stuff is.
yeah,
you
but
know,
they don't have
Yeah.
doctrines like Imperium
Yeah,
does.
but intercessors,
Just like
you see,
straight. Sorry, go ahead.
They don't have
I was going to
Primaris
say,
either.
intercessors, you see, they have an additional wound and more range and good stuff like that. And they're only like 5 or 6 more points. You know, if you think about it, point for point, they're not that much different.
yeah,
Yeah.
but the thing is though, we're not trying to compare them to Primaris. We're just comparing them in faction.
Yeah, the
Right.
main
Yeah.
the main question
So-
that I'm trying to get across is like between the 3 options that we've got, between the cultists, the Space Marines, or demons, what would you guys say is the most viable, the more fun, and just the better option in general?
If the demons is always the worst one, in
Are
my
definitely most
opinion.
fun. Demons are definitely most fun.
I would say definitely the worst too.
Yes, definitely the worst.
Yes,
But if you want true shenanigans and chaos, demons just have that flavor to them, you know. Just the way their units are set up and the way their models rules reads, they're not very good, but they'll catch people off guard with some weird tricks.
that's
Like
true.
for instance, Poxwalkers with -2 to hit and 5 toughness
Plague
and a
bearers.
5 of feel no pain.
Plague bearers.
What?
Pretty
yeah.
toxic.
Yeah, Plague Bearers, my bad. That's insane. It's not very good.
Yeah, Poxwalkers, though, on the other hand, are equally just as annoying. Never has to
Oh,
take
yeah,
morale,
for sure.
Still disgustingly resilient. They have no save, but they have they basically have a chance to survive everything, basically.
Which is really
how many
nice.
times have I annoyed the crap out of you, Maddie, with a blob of Poxwalkers?
Yep, they are definitely annoying, and I don't enjoy playing against Boxwalkers. It's not my favorite unit to see across the table. But to solve your debate over as far as shooting capability, 20 cultists will do more damage to a knight than 10 Space Marines. So,
And-
like going off the knight standard, that's what I always use at least. You know,
Okay, but
what's
you're missing
most
the key
effective way-
point.
No, that's the key point. You ask like which one was better. It's gonna be the cultist. 20 cultists
Oh my goodness.
will outshoot 10 Marines.
I actually agree with Matt for many reasons. Like there are a few factions who actually benefit that their Space Marines actually benefit from their tactics well enough to say that they're better than the cultists. Like Alpha Legion. Gets -1 to hit, so all the Chaos Space Marines might get a -1. Yeah, that's good.
It works for the cultists on that too, though.
Yeah, but a -1 to hit is better on a 3-up save model rather than a 5-up save model. If you're saying that, like if you're putting what is better for it, a Chaos Space Marine would have better with it than a cultist would, even if you have multiple blobs of cultists.
Yeah, but on a general basis, you're talking about offensive capabilities now, but you're ignoring the defensive capabilities.
No,
A 3-up save is nothing to scoff at.
Yeah,
but like,
but
let me
pretty
finish
much
what I'm trying to say.
everything. Go ahead.
Let me finish what I'm trying to say. Because there's also Abaddon's thing with Black Legion. That helps like Chaos Space Marines immensely. But the only problem with Abaddon's thing is people are running cultists rather than Chaos Space Marines for Black Templars more often when it first came out because why not have a group of 80 cultists that could automatically pass morale? Why would I not do that? Because that's just easy points to just sink in for free morale, for no morale checks. Because why would I spend the same amount? I would spend like 25 Chaos Space Marines or 30 Chaos Space Marines for the price of 80 cultists. And the 80 cultists will do more because there's more of them, more wounds, they get around the map faster.
Yeah, but that means you also have to. So the problem with that is, though, that means you're A, playing Black Legion, or B, your morale is going to be really bad because if they don't have no morale tests, period. They only have no morale whenever Abaddon's nearby.
Yeah, 12-inch bubble is huge. It is massive. A 12-inch bubble, you'll almost never move out your cultists outside of that 12-inch bubble for them to not take that morale test ever. Unless you're using them as a way to be a suicide or a cannon fodder, which you wouldn't need anyway.
4 squads of cultists and Abaddon, so you said 80 cultists, would be like the correct number, as far as him staying within everybody, at least keeping one model within that 12-inch bubble is pretty easy. 200 I don't find viable, but 80 I would find viable.
80, I would say 80.
But as far as like defensive power, I mean, you're talking about just like if I shoot bolters at both, 100% the Chaos Space Marines are going to survive. But as somebody that fights against Chaos a lot, I'm not going to shoot my bolters at Space Marines. I'll shoot my bolters at the cultists, so they'll have to take 5-up saves, and I'm going to shoot things like heavy bolters and autocannons at Space Marines that are going to be at a 4-up, 5-up save anyways. And then you're talking about 1 wound to 1 wound, probably rolling the same save and just having 10 less bodies to absorb wounds. So I don't think defensively, I mean, if you're playing against somebody bad that's just going to shoot bolters at everything no matter what, then sure. But the moment you take AP into effect and target acquisition, making the right choices with the weapons you have available, I don't think defensive power really is going to play that big of that much difference between the two.
And since AP has become a lot more realistic nowadays, there's a lot of armies that are getting a lot more AP to them. Like Imperium, bolters used to be no AP, but now with doctrines in effect, almost every single gun has at least a -2 AP now, like guaranteed. And
Primaris Marines,
Yeah, like a guaranteed -2 AP. I don't care how many shots. AP, the more AP it has, the worse Chaos Space Marines are going to be. And
any Space Marines.
Yeah, and it just proves that cultists will be better. In the sense, because all they don't even need a 5-up save. The 20-man blob is good enough to get shot at for the chances of hitting, for the chances of wounding, and that's already good enough chances for you to be like, well, I have 20 men right here that can auto pass morale.
Also,
okay, but go ahead.
Cultists have a base 6-up save, not a base 5-up save. I think you have guardsmen.
Well, yeah.
Guardsmen,
it's very different.
Even so. But even so, like that's nothing. That's who really cares. You're using them for hitman squads that run in and die for you. They're easy point sinks for just running in. You're not spending your
objective holders.
Yeah. You're not spending Chaos Space Marines to be objective holders without wasting your points. If you're doing the same thing, you run cultists every time.
Well, not necessarily. Because
Unless
Chaos Space Marines can sit still in one place and fire at full firing power at anything within 24 inches.
And like I said, you wouldn't need Chaos Space Marines to do that job when you can get Havocs or you can get Obliterators that are more cost efficient than just getting Chaos Space Marines. Because Chaos Space Marines are not efficient for their cost compared to what Obliterators are costed now, or Havocs
Chaos Space Marines like 11 points per model?
Yeah, but why would I spend 11 points per model when I can spend literally 95 points on 2 models to do 3 times more? And Deep Strike with an Invon.
He brings up now something interesting. What do you guys usually take with your troop choices? What are some of the best pickings in the elites, heavy, fast, in the Chaos Space Marine Codex?
I think we can all agree that Obliterators is probably the only good choice.
Well, Havocs are amazing right now. They have
Havocs
toughness
really
5, and they can move without penalty and shoot, and they get those silly Gatling guns that are ridiculous for their shot output.
Yes. I would prefer Havocs over Obliterators unless you ran a list around Obliterators. I think Obliterators are better, but they're consistent and they're good. But I really do think Havocs are a better playstyle unless you run around a playstyle with Obliterators, which Iron Warriors have a really good playstyle around Obliterators.
Wait. So you guys mean to tell me you guys don't take Predators?
No. Predators are awful.
I know.
Predators have not been viable since they removed Killshot. That was the death of the Predator.
Wait, they removed Killshot?
Yeah.
Yeah, Killshot got removed when they redid the new main codex. They got rid of Killshot because it was so powerful. Having +1 to wound and +1 damage is so stupid for the Predator autocannon doing a flat 4 damage.
Yeah, right.
With a
It's pretty
+1 to
crazy.
wound at strength 7. The one of the main things that made it less good is it's strength 7 shooting into toughness 8 models most of the time. But now you're still winning on 4s against knights, and with Gilliman or somebody around rerolling all failed hits, all failed wounds, flat 4 damage.
Matt, this is a chaos.
I
podcast today.
know. I can't help it though. I miss
I
the old
can't.
Just replace
Gilliman.
Gilliman with Abaddon.
Rebute Maticus.
So what other elites and heavy choices do we got? I mean, I know that's mostly what you see, but
Now,
Technically, you have
Lord.
Havocs, or not Havocs. What are they called? The dudes with jetpacks.
Raptors.
Yeah.
Warp
Talons.
I have a very good base on both of those, actually.
But aren't raptors and such only good in specific situations? Like, because just like assault marines, they die so easily.
They're just regular Marines with expensive jump packs. That's all that they
basically.
are.
In Chaos, jetpacks, I would say, are better every time, are a way better choice than in Imperium. Because it's not that they're cheaper or anything, it's that there's psychic powers and there's more ways for in a Chaos army for it to be more useful. Like, let's say a good example. Let's just say like you're running soup, because in Chaos right now, soup is a good idea. So why would you not run soup? So let's say your army is Supreme Command Detachment Ward Bearers. You're running Philip. What is that?
Sorcerers.
Yeah, 3 sorcerers. You're going to use your stratagems for ward bearers on those 3 sorcerers. Are insane stratagems. Work really well. You cannot get a better sorcerer list other than ward bearers. It's better than probably, I won't say 1,000 Suns, but I mean, in general, like, they're really good. They have really good stratagems. And you have the Supreme Command Detachment. You have a Vanguard Detachment's heavy support, right? Is it Vanguard?
That'd be
No, that's
Spearhead.
a-
No,
Spearhead.
Outrider
Spearhead.
is for heavy support.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Spearhead, right?
Yeah, Spearhead.
Spearhead, and you would run 2 groups of 2 Obliterators with maybe like 10 Havocs to finish it out of Iron Warriors. And then you
Okay.
have, let's say, your last group is your Vanguard for your elite choices, and then you just run World Eaters, Terminators, and Terminators and Corn Berserkers or something, right?
I mean,
And
no, because in World Eaters, Corn Berserkers are a troop's choice, so you can't put them in a Vanguard.
well, whatever it is, I don't care. You can run 3 groups of 5 Corn Terminators for all I care. I'm just giving an example.
Well, so
I'm just
that's the
saying that,
issue. Wait, please finish your thought before I go on.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that Chaos's strengths are more on the soup, and so you can only really rely it on the soup. Some armies like Blood Angels and Dark Angels, they can run their armies by themselves because they have enough units to run by themselves. Chaos does not have that benefit. Chaos is struggling with the fact that they don't have enough units for each category that they can run their army by themselves without it being good enough or viable enough, because that's what GW made their armies. So the newest supplements for all the Chaos armies actually made it extremely viable to run them as soup. I have yet to see it, but I think it's more like Chaos is not as popular because there's no new Chaos models, and Chaos was popular when new Chaos models came, not new rules. And I don't think, and I'm sure that's happened because I've not seen anyone rave over the new rules. I've seen people rave over the new models.
Okay, so Alex brings up a good point. I am under the idea that knights and demons are both very, very cool armies, but they're both basically impossible to run mono by themselves. That they make great allies. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about
Demons?
allying
For demons or for Chaos Space Marines?
for demons and knights?
I'm
Chaos
talking about
knights.
I
like
think-
all
Chaos
chaos
Knights.
in general, like so chaos
Yeah.
demons, chaos knights, chaos space marines are, as far as the knights though and the demons, are they viable to run alone? And that's the question. And I think the answer is no.
Yes, by themselves. Yes, knights, demons alone
No.
can definitely run by themselves and still put up pretty good results. And I think knights also
So
put up.
you're gonna run mono Zinch demons?
No, but he didn't say mono faction demons. He said just demons as a general. Like if I only had chaos demons, could I do well in a tournament? And I think yes, you can. Now, if you're saying mono like gods, different story. But we're not talking about mono gods now, are we?
No, I mean we can talk about it. However, I think the answer is pretty obvious that unless you just want to have fun and run nothing but Zinch demons, Nurgle demons, or so on and so forth, you're most likely gonna lose.
100%. There's no winnable outcome unless you're playing against chaos demons as chaos demons.
But even still, to be honest with
I-
you, if I see demons across the board, I'm never worried about it because a
Yeah.
5-up
Never.
inbolt doesn't really mean that much whenever you have like 100 freaking bolters. Or me
Whoa, whoa,
playing.
whoa, whoa.
what-
It's
what-
4-up
what-
invuln against Zeech.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, I was gonna
This is
say.
just so
I think that Nurgle demons would be the only exception to that rule, in the fact that I wouldn't say there's no winnable outcome. I'd say that your odds are still very stacked against you, but I think that Nurgle demons would be the possibility to do something with the army competitively. And you remember,
The
like,
problem
if you're
is-
talking about competitive and
Uh-huh.
ITC, the mission isn't always destroy your enemy, because there's always ways to win the game without obliterating your enemy. And as far as ITC goes, you could definitely always hold more, go for the bonuses, make sure you get all your secondaries. You don't necessarily, like, if you're playing against Tau, you don't necessarily have to kill all 3 Riptides. And there's, like, mathematically 3 Riptides can't shoot through, 80 plus Plague Bears that are, auto or saving on 5s, and they have a 5-up feel no pain. That's going to be a
-2 to
lot
hit.
of wounds to shoot. Yeah, with minuses to hit and stuff. And Tau do not do well against minuses to hit.
No,
So
not
I was
at
going
all.
to say, I don't think that there is a good argument that they're not winnable as just mono Nurgle demons. But I think that, like I said, again, it's going to come down to the player. You have to really understand your army and understand that you're not there to kill stuff. You're there to win the game. And if you get that mindset, I think you could win with Nurgle demons. I'd give it a shot. I'd give it a punt.
That's fair.
Yeah, I can understand Nurgle demons because, again, Nurgle demons, just discussing resilient as like a faction ability is so powerful that it can really like carry a lot of units from being pretty bad to being
Bad.
incredibly obnoxious. For example, Poxwalkers are god awful until you add disgustingly resilient, and now you played an entire game and you shot all these shots in this one unit Poxwalkers, and you never killed a single one of them because they just have a feels no pain. And feels no pain, you can't get around it. There's no way to avoid it. It's like it's the reverse of mortal wounds, the defensive version of it. There's nothing you can do for it to not screw you. And it's
I
very
love going against
obnoxious.
psychic heavy armies with Nurgle stuff with my Death Guard. It's so much fun. They can just throw out 1,000 mortal wounds at me, and I'd be like, 5s and 6s, deal with it.
Yeah.
What a great concept of a game.
I mean, it's fine.
Hey,
it's no less obnoxious than mortal wound spam, in my opinion. It's just, what you see as obnoxious.
Well, to be honest, I find smite spam much more obnoxious than feels no pains. So that's just me.
I don't know. Feel no pains
No.
are pretty bad.
No. It's in the sense that you have the audacity to walk into this game to say,
Man.
I'm not going to let variance control me this time. Let's do the mortal wounds, baby.
This
But here's the problem,
had the
though, right?
audacity to say that the psychic powers aren't massive variants.
I mean, smite, not really. Kind of
Yeah,
too
it
easy
is.
to get. Kind
Smite
of too easy to get
specifically
off.
is high variance, considering the fact that it scales
Not really.
up.
I think the problem is, the Death Guard Feel No Pain. It just feels bad. Imagine hitting something with like 3 to 4 damage, and they block most of it.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
feels no pain is only regarding your models, because your opponent definitely feels the pain every time that you
Yeah, for
succeed
sure.
a handful of
Yeah.
feel no pains. Like
more
there's
like-
been many times where I've like shot at a demon prince of Nurgle or a whatever, the Death Guard, and you do like 10 wounds to it and you're like, okay, it's dead, and then they roll 5 6s or 5 5s and 6s and you're just like, well, that was a wasted shot. And
Exactly.
it makes you feel really bad. So it definitely makes me feel pain when I see feel no pains and success.
Yeah, Nurgle,
Man, yeah,
Nurgle
for sure.
Princess, or Death Guard, Chaos Princess or Demon Princess are so nasty. I love running those things. Just throw it at the enemy. The thing is hard already enough as it is to kill. You give it the separating plate. We're on, I think it's either 4 up or 3 up. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm doing mortal wounds back to you. And it's just like against like a melee heavy army. Like if you throw a bunch of orcs at it, there is a good chance that your own troops could be killing themselves trying to kill my demon prince. And it is absolutely hilarious. I love those guys.
They are.
Yeah, it's all just bad. It's just bad. You should feel bad for running it. And
I mean-
as soon as I get my Death Guard army and I get to make my first Death to the False Emperor save, Nick, I'm gonna feel
At
really
me, why
good when
don't you?
I get to run a Demon Prince.
So
with,
here's the
a
other
separating
thing.
plate.
Here's the other thing that I think is really insane. You know what? I totally just forgot my line of thought. Ignore that.
Oh my god, Nick! How
Wow.
Maybe you're the
embarrassing!
one
that's
How
fine.
unprofessional!
Yeah, I know, right?
Anyway, back
I
on
literally.
the topic
Wow.
of souping, before we get caught talking
yeah.
about Real Demons and
Back-
Death Guard for eternity,
Yeah.
I want to talk about a little bit of souping and sort of
Oh,
exemplify
I-
something Alex was
All right,
talking
Philip.
about.
I'm
Nick,
sorry. I remembered.
Yeah, I can tell because you started yelling very loudly. So something I do with my Chaos Army I've been testing out is doing a bit of a flavor list, a bit of a lore list, disgusting. Word Bearers and World Eaters together. And Alex mentioned it very briefly with World Eaters Terminators. Sadly holding back the Red Butcher stratagem, which turns regular Chaos Terminators, which are pretty bad, into Khorne Berserkers, Khorne Berserker version of them, which is very, very good. A big thing holding the back is, just being Terminators in general, but having, these Word Bearers to like bring this up makes, a very suboptimal line of play, that being using, Khorne, World Eaters, Terminator, Deep Strike stuff. Turns into something that you can really see working, because the whole rest of your army isn't like a melee bomb instantly kills thing. The whole rest of your army is securing objectives, doing a lot of psychic stuff, ignoring denies sometimes, while you just have this murder ball come in sometimes and really wreck things, like those big super heavy Bane blades. I don't think people are hitting Bane blades right now, but those big super heavy knights and things like that. I think that's really a big upside for Soup. Being able to, put together your own little play style that you like to support. Anyway, Nick, go on. Go ahead, do your thought.
So, okay. So, if you think Feel No Pains feel bad, I don't think there's anything worse than Necron
The animation protocols?
quantum shielding.
Oh
right,
god.
Oh my
next.
goodness,
Oh,
yes.
God.
Just go next.
That's imagine wanting to shoot a las cannon at something and saying, "Oh man, I hope I don't roll a 6 for damage."
Yeah, it's funny. Actually, I fought against a guy using Necrons, and he was using one of the Forge World Eldar tanks that does 2d6 damage against vehicles, and he kept shooting it at the ghost barge or whatever it was, and every time it'd be like 7 damage, 10 damage, 12 damage. I'm like, do you still want me to roll the dice? It's so
Lord.
bad.
Did he ask? What did he say?
He was like, yeah, go ahead and roll it. So I roll it. I roll a 6. He'd be like, all right, I deflect it.
Maddie, you're a
rolling
terrible person.
2d6 trying to roll under a 6. It was pretty bad.
You're a terrible person.
That's poopy.
What about
Oh, man.
what about Chaos Knights? Any opinion about Chaos Knights, gentlemen?
Oh man, they're busted.
I think that they're pretty good. I think Chaos Knights objectively are better than Imperial Knights. Like if they just have to fight against each other one-on-one.
Whoa,
Yes, 100%.
Are you
I will say
are
that.
you saying that I am
Yeah.
right? Because you fought me on this topic a while
No,
back.
no. You're right. If they fight against each other one-on-one, Chaos Knights will win the fight. However, the thing that will always make Imperial Knights better than Chaos Knights is Imperial Guard.
Allies. Yeah.
I can
Chaos
bring it.
allies
Doesn't
are way
there
worse.
is no allies. There's ally Imperial Guard, and more specifically Layman Russ, and more specifically either the Demolisher Cannon, which is amazing. It's godlike, especially since they changed it, so it's just D6
Guys,
shots.
the Imperial fanboy is doing it again. He's doing it
And
again.
then it's effectively, because you're a Layman Russ, it's 2d6 strength 10 AP minus 3 or 4 d6 damage shots
That's all right.
What is
on
how-
tank commanders.
Oh my
You
God.
win.
Yes. Tank commanders are great. What about is the list of Chaos Knights and whatchamacallit, the Disco Lords still as good?
I mean, it's all right. It's not.
I think it's still
definitely
pretty
not
good.
putting out that much of results anymore. I don't think at the moment.
Well, nobody's putting out results
Yeah.
right now, but
yeah, but
no, I do think that the Disco Lord combo still does work, and Disco Lords are still terrifying.
yes,
To me,
they
at
are.
least.
I love those models. They're so good. I just hate running
So
3
cool.
of them.
I wouldn't run 3. I've actually seen people do better success without running 3, because you can take like a Demon Prince of Zinch and use
The relic weapon.
Warp
The
time?
relic force weapon.
no the spell Warp Time. So then you can slingshot one of the Disco Lords into combat turn 1, and that is terrifying because it already has a stupid movement, and then it can move again and then charge, and then it's disrupting all the firepower that you need to kill it because it's giving it all a -1 to hit. It's a disgusting little combination.
It
And
is.
on top of that, you still have knights with at least 3 knights with at least 6 thermal cannons to
Well-
deal with after the fact.
Even nastier than that is you don't really need a demon prince of Zeech, as like any demon prince can cast warp time. So you can roll up with like a demon prince of Slanesh, do the whole, I don't know if it's still good to be doing this, but the intoxicating elixir stuff. I don't know if your relics are all taken up or whatever.
Nah.
To have like another layer of murder in your list, especially with the fly keyword, because that sometimes is relevant.
You'd get the new demon weapon for the Slanesh, for the claws. It's better than the intoxicating elixir. Let me let me find its rules real quick. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah. The main thing being that the running the 3 Disco Lords is not like the thing to do anymore, because people realize having 3 Disco Lords is cool, but having 2 Disco Lords and one that you can slingshot in their turn 1 guaranteed is pretty much always going to be better.
I don't know. I don't really play enough Chaos to really have an opinion, I guess. I just don't know what's
do you
good.
not fight against chaos? Well, I mean, I guess disco lords don't really mean much to you because you don't have very many vehicles that you'd run as.
No, I only run the 2.
Yeah. So I mean, me playing as like guard. One of my biggest benefits is bringing tank commanders. So I'm hitting on 3s, which is obviously vastly better than 4s. So getting pushed back to 4s again really hurts.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I always feel like, to me, my first target as a player, which is good for the Knights player, is I have to shoot at least one of the Disco Lords off the table turn 1, if not both of them, before they can get in there and start subtracting from my hits. Because the moment that happens, I'm in a rough spot in all kinds of rough ways.
Yep. Once they start revving that chainsaw, my boy, it's all over.
All
I almost
orc
feel
now.
like the Disco Lord should have honestly just gone in the Knights Codex instead of the Chaos Codex or the Chaos Space Marine Codex, because it just fits their playstyle so much better than it does with Chaos Space Marines in general.
I think that the Disco Lord is viable even without Knights. You run them with Forge Fiends, and it makes them really, really, really fun to play.
Forge Fiends or Mauler Fiends?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mauler Fiends. Yeah, don't play Chaos. I apologize. Mauler Fiends. Like 3 Mauler Fiends and a Disco Lord. I think, doesn't the Disco Lord allow them to advance and charge?
I believe he gives them like different benefits. I don't think it's advance and charge. Okay,
I know that it's like +1 to hit, which makes them really, really nice. But yeah, they become really disgusting when he's like sitting there healing them up and all kinds of fun stuff. So that's another thing that I would consider if I was going to.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do like the Forge that model a lot. I think Forge Fiends are pretty cool too.
Indeed.
We're talking Forge Fiends or Mauler Fiends, because Mauler Fiends are significantly cooler than Forge Fiends.
Yeah, whichever one the melee ones.
Yeah, that's the Mauler Fiend with the Lasher tendrils. They look really nice.
Yeah,
really nice.
They just look very formidable. That's the coolest part. They just look so cool.
Yeah.
So I got a question to propose to you, gentlemen. What would you guys like to see in overall the general Chaos catalog? What do you guys think needs to happen?
I have been thinking about this all day, and again, I'm not a Chaos player, but I believe, and I haven't seen the Codex like ever. I've never just opened it up and flipped through a Chaos Codex, but I'm about 99% sure that if you flip through your Chaos Codex right now, not including Forge World, there is not a flyer keyword.
Serious?
Helldrakes.
No, the Helldrake is a model that has the fly keyword, but it's not a flyer, I don't believe.
It's a flyer. Doesn't have the fly rules, but it's under air support or whatever it's called.
It's under the battlefield role of flyer.
Yes. It doesn't have supersonic, and it doesn't have all the other traits of a flyer, but it's definitely under.
I thought it was just like a heavy support, or
no, it's under
elite
flyer
or something.
Mm-mm. It's definitely under flyer.
So you could bring an air wing detachment of 3 Helldrakes, or 2 Helldrakes, or 1.
I believe one of our Thousand Suns players did that for a while.
Who was it?
Okay. I still think that they need like planes, because Imperium the Imperial side, Adeptus Astartes are riddled with flyers everywhere, flyers for days in the base codex. And for all of that, every faction essentially has their own flyers. They have Nephilim fighters, the Corvus Blackstar, Storm Raven, the Storm Fang or Frost Fang. And then you go to Chaos and you just don't have flyers like at all. There's no flyers in Death Guard. There's no flyers in Thousand Suns except for, obviously
Magnus.
the one that we're talking about. Yeah, but I'm talking about like actual planes.
A proper
a Helldrake to me seems more like it's like an assault. It's in the unit that can assault. So to me it's not a flyer. it's not. They don't have flyers. And I think
a little
they
picky,
need that.
don't you think?
No, I think they need flyers, like not Forge World, just regular GW model flyers.
No, and yeah, that's definitely a thing I can see because Helldrake as like a demon engine is awesome. It's very, very cool. And I definitely think there's a lot of design space still left open for flyer like demon engines that they really haven't explored yet that they could, or just like having those flyers because, I really would love my Chaos Army to also have terrible flyers for me to be able to run and to have fun using.
Yeah, I agree. We really don't have any other flying options. Actually, Maddie makes the best point. The non-Chaos player makes a great point about Chaos. Good job. Gold star to
You're
Maddie.
welcome.
What would they have though? I guess
transports, flying transports, like fighters, all kinds of stuff. I mean, they're Space Marines essentially, just gone evil. Why don't they have something that Chaos Space Marines can pilot? They don't have anything like that.
Why can't they just fly on the backs of demons?
Yeah, I mean they could.
That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see.
Why
That could
not?
be a flyer. Why aren't there?
Sure.
Why isn't there a Chaos? Why isn't there a Death Guard character wielding a Man Reaper, riding a Plague Drone?
That'd be dope.
With the with
they're
the
an
sniper
AOS.
rifle.
They're an AOS, but I don't see any in 40k. Why is there not a version of Tychus
I mean,
riding a
technically-
Plague Drone? I don't know.
Because I don't know. I think it'd be kind of hard. I don't think any demon would allow a lowly mortal to ride them.
Yes, they would. There's juggernauts.
The gentleman
guess
has
so.
a point. The gentleman has a point.
But Khorne does not care from which the blood flows.
I'm pretty sure Khorne would be the one that would care the most. Because
Anyway,
he's
not a
literally the
lore
demon prince of
podcast.
pride. So if we
Hashtag
had
not a
a
lore
choice,
podcast.
it's just saying. But
I'm just saying.
yeah, it's not.
All
I don't
right,
spend.
all right.
I don't read books or anything.
Oh my gosh. Alrighty. Any other ideas that you gentlemen might have? Anything else that we think that Chaos could really benefit from?
For me, for things that Chaos could benefit from, it might sound like I'm just repeating, things that people say all the time, but I really wish Emperor's Children would get their stuff soon, because it's really sad looking at World Eaters having these amazing looking Khorne Berserkers and having Karn looking like an absolute unit. All this new Death Guard stuff and the really weird and amazing Thousand Thuns thing, and Emperor's Children, who's supposed to be sort of like the last piece of that puzzle, is just another person in the base codex with a single named character with a model from second edition or whatever that looks like dog.
They're getting that, right? That's coming out. That's the whole
We don't-
that Fabius Bau's getting his own army.
He's
Like,
not
all new
Emperor-
models.
He's not Emperor's Children. He's
Yeah, he used to be
literally-
Emperor's Children, but he's not Emperor's Children anymore, right?
Technically, if we're looking at it, a Fabius Bile army is closer to something like Homunculus Covens than it is really to Emperor's Children.
Yeah.
Does he not? Is he not he doesn't have the keyword though? He's not a part of the Emperor's Children.
He used to be the chief apothecary, but he's sort of been ousted and stuff like that. Not a lore podcast,
Yeah,
by the way.
Chaos people
And
don't
so
like
he's sort of
Fabius
separate.
Bile.
Yeah, he hates.
Okay.
He's hated on both sides by the Imperium
yeah.
and.
So lore wise, he's not a part of the Emperor's
Yeah,
Children.
the Death
but
Guard
in
want
the
him
book,
dead.
he's a character for the Emperor's Children.
Not even in the books. He may be in 30k books, but once the 41st millennia hit, or the 40th millennia hit, everyone started hating him because he started doing too many experiments on everyone around him, and then they just tried to oust him.
like stop, dude.
Yeah,
please.
and then he made a Primar Chorus, and then he escaped, and then
Well,
He's like,
he made far more than one Primar course. He made a lot, but
yeah.
that's a story and not something we need to get into right now.
Yeah.
The gist of
I
it is
gotcha. I was
basically
just-
Fabius's army isn't Emperor's Children, it's Fabius. Unless they're going to go the route of, what they did with Thousand Sons in 7th edition with the War on Fenris, where they have Fulgrim and him make up like Ahriman and Magnus did, because for like all of lore they like hated each other and were opposed to each other, like two different voices within the Legion. So we'll see where they go with that, but I have my doubts that they'll do the same thing for the third time.
So we've talked about things that we want specifically from existing Chaos armies. Now here's a good question for you guys. What kind of Chaos army would we like to see? I know one of you guys is already gonna shout it from the rooftops. Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead. Come on, Nick.
What?
I know what you want. Go ahead. What
This
Chaos
is
army do you want?
This is your prompt to say Dark Mechanicus, Nick.
Go.
No. You're not getting that from me today, buddy. But if there was a Dark Mechanicus army, I'd definitely play it. I was a little confused, like, what are you guys talking about?
Hey,
Yeah,
it's Mechanicus, but with, edgier theme.
So,
Wow.
I just
how can
finished
you be so
talking
rude to my-
about- Yeah. I just finished talking about Emperor's Children, and this is going to be, very funny, and you all are going to, make nice little jokes about it once I finish saying it. But legitimately, I think Fallen should be its own army.
I agree.
That'd be fun.
Aren't they already their own army?
It's kind of like an
Please be quiet,
index
Nick.
army.
It is one unit.
It's two units. It's Cypher and then the Fallen unit. And they may have removed the Fallen unit, so it might just be Cypher now. Like, I think they got rid of the Fallen unit.
Cypher's a cool model. I love that model.
Well, see, that's the issue. Cypher is a very cool model. Cypher has a lot of interesting things going on, but Cypher doesn't have an army. There's really no reason to play Cypher. But if Fallen was an actual army, like Fallen had their own versions of Dark Angels units, and, they were actually a part of the metagame and they were a thing that existed, it would be very cool and interesting, in my opinion. I think it'd be kind of cool. Yeah, I think sort of having like opposed things, like having them have, very good melee bikers, because Ravenwing Black Knights aren't good for melee. They're meant for shooting plasma at people, and having like good ranged Terminators or something, and like having those like forces being like opposed to each other and them being very different from Dark Angels, being like almost, the complete opposite, or just tying more into like their 30K stuff that, they do in 30K. I don't know how that game works, so I'm not going to act like I understand how 30K Dark Angels work in terms of rules. I think that'd be something that's very interesting and would be very fun to build an army for.
I think I'd like to see something. Yeah. I'd like to see something not Imperium fall to Chaos, like Chaos Eldar or Chaos Tau.
Chaos Eldar. Or curse statement.
You can't have Chaos Tau, right?
Why
I thought
not?
That was impossible because they have such a weak connection.
They have a very, very minuscule presence in the warp. It's there, but it's very, very tiny. But also think about the fact that they have many species, many species in their empire.
Ooh,
Hashtag not a lore
cow
podcast.
crew.
But one of those species could theoretically fall to Chaos.
Chaos crew. That'd be awesome.
That'd be dope.
Yes.
I would be more interested, though, in seeing... I know that it is another Imperium army, but I want to see Chaos and Guard. I want to see a Renegade Guard. I think
Renegade Guard. That's an obvious one. I mean, that's cultist.
Guard rules. The thing is, the Renegade Guard rules that they like released recently.
They're not
like
good.
Really cool. They're not good, but they're very cool.
You know what would be really cool? Also, like Gene Stealer Cult Chaos.
Wow.
So you have Gene Stealer Cult, and then you have they're like take over the Guard. Why not take over some chaosy things?
Because I don't think Chaos has a structure of society that is stable enough for Gene Stealer cults to be interested in them.
I think you underestimate Gene Stealers.
No, they don't want to be there.
Look,
because
I'm just saying. I mean, let's branch out a little bit. Let's get some variety. I mean, I'm tired of just seeing. I'm just tired of seeing Imperium being picked on by everybody. Okay, they're my boys.
But we deserve it.
And I just want to see other people get picked on. Let's get some Chaos Orcs.
Let's do it. I don't think Gene Stealers really care.
Corn would like orcs.
I really don't think Gene Stealers care who they put their appendages in to make them, praise to their almighty hive mind. But You know, it doesn't really matter if it's chaos or not. It makes sense, I guess. Chaos
I think-
Orcs kind of also makes sense, but it's also like it's got to be some really, really, really fluffed up stuff to make it Chaos Orcs to make it believable.
Well, the problem with orcs is they kill orcs that fall to chaos, right? That's why you don't really have lots of chaos orcs running around.
But what if the boss falls? Who's going to kill the boss? He's the biggest and the baddest.
The rest of the orcs.
And the one story of the one orc that likes to kill chaos all the time. He didn't fall to chaos, but he became one of Khorne's, champions, and all he does is like fight on the world and kill chaos demons all the time. But he's not falling to chaos. He just likes to kill chaos things.
Yeah, I think orcs would make like a great, like, look, what if you had like a whole squad of like a whole like fleet of orcs get sucked into the warp and they just all came out chaos? Why not, right? It was 40K.
Ooh.
There are no rules here.
Demon-fied chaos or demon-fied orcs. That'd be fun.
The problem is, I think they change the color depending on which faction they are. Because I heard that Khorne orcs are red. So, I mean, you could definitely have them. I just feel like, what's the difference between a regular orc and a chaos orc? Nothing, really.
Yeah.
They do the same thing.
You give them cool horns coming out of their heads.
But you can already do that.
I can just imagine Zeech orcs. It's terrifying.
Listen, Nick. Okay,
Zinch orcs, that'd be funny.
A chaos orc and a regular orc is the boys is more fighty when they be messing with the red man, and the boys be more tinkin when they mess with the blue. You dig?
I see. Don't know
I know
how
it's
much
very
I
hard
see.
I know it's really hard to
Red
wrap your
orcs
brain
would
around
also
that.
go faster. They'd
That's true.
they'd have a 7-inch move.
This man.
Zeech demons be too lucky. No.
I do remember long ago when I first started playing this game, written in the codex said, if vehicles are painted red, they get +1 to movement. That was a real thing back in the day. So the red ones do go faster.
So what does
LOL?
painted red mean? Does painted red I put a splash of red paint on?
No, you're talking like it had to be like red armor, or had to have red armor panels, and it got +1 to movement.
That's actually kind of funny.
So if you look at a lot of old school orcs, they're generally a lot of the times painted red.
Red goes
Alright.
faster.
I mean, that makes sense, though, I guess. I mean, that's kind of cool. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was just a little something extra that GW did, but it was actually, I think I probably have that codex. It was like a really old school orc codex. I don't remember what edition. It would have been 3rd or 4th edition, but it was written into the rules. Red orc vehicles go faster.
Could you make it, though, different enough from playing orcs to make it a viable army, though?
I mean,
What?
it could be.
Chaos Orks?
They
Yeah.
could treat it, instead of like a whole new army, they could treat it as like a faction within like the army. You know, like you have the different clans, and then you've got, this clan are the Khorne ones, this one's the Nurgle ones, these one's the Zeech ones. It could be just taking orcs and then putting these universal rules over them, and then letting them take allies with demons and stuff like that.
Oh, God. I do not want to hear that.
Ooh,
A
demons
whole
with
bunch of orc
orcs.
boys with some demon backup. Oh yeah, I
Khorne
like
orc
that.
boys, you just drop the blood letters.
That'd be
Cool.
fun.
Imagine Khorne orc boys riding those whatever those
crushers?
dogs are called. Yeah.
Yeah. See? And now we know the
That'd be-
difference.
All right.
Instead of bikes, they got blood
GW.
crushers.
Do it, GW.
That would be interesting. That would be very interesting. Alrighty, gentlemen, let's go ahead and just start wrapping it up. So thank you all for joining us today. That's all the time for this week. Be sure to, as always, let us know how we can improve anything. Hashtag Nick is always wrong is always appreciated. And be sure to check out our Patreon at the Tabletop Shenanigans. Any donations are welcome, and everything we receive is being directly used to help improve the quality of the channel and to make sure that Matty has enough money to put into his plastic crack addiction. Please help him. His daughter will need an education at some point. So
Hopefully. I hope that's on Matt's mind.
I appreciate you guys all very much. Thanks.
Absolutely. Okay, everybody, start signing off.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys very much.
All right, it's been Nick
and Matthew.
Oh my God, Alex, what are you giggling about?
Alex is just laughing.
Yep.
He's becoming deranged, guys. He's dissociating. He's finally got
Good Lord. It's
finally
the
lost
chaos.
it.
It's the chaos podcast got him to
Corn.
Got me.
All right.
Shooters.
All right. You guys
Thank
have a
you.
wonderful day.
And thank you, everybody. I've been your host, Felipe. Everybody have a good night. Bye.